Hello and welcome. My name's Colin and welcome to this month's Good News Review. What we're doing, we're reviewing a paper called Good News. So Andy, tell us more about this paper, please.
Hi Colin, great to be with you. Yeah, when was the last time you picked up a newspaper that had nothing but good news in it? I suspect the answer to that question is never. We live in a world full of so much bad news. A world of tragedy, a world of disaster, a world of sadness. So what we have here is a newspaper that has nothing but good news stories in it, uplifting stories, sometimes of celebrities, sometimes of sportsmen and women, sometimes of ordinary people, but uplifting stories of people who've discovered that life is worth living even in this sad old world because they put their faith and trust in God and they've developed a relationship with Jesus Christ. So this newspaper, which as you can see is a red top, it's a proper newspaper, comes out every month, full of nothing but good news stories of people who've turned their lives around. We also have film reviews, we have articles on science and the Bible, there are other articles as well, all with that very, very positive message that life is worth living, even in this world. So a newspaper full of nothing but good news.
Thanks, Andy. And you write an article, don't you?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I get the hard job of having to go to the cinema every month and watching a film, and then I get to review it. So I write the film focus column. I get to review a film that's maybe in the cinema or maybe has come out on DVD or Blu-ray, or perhaps a film that's streaming online. And we always look for really good films to review, films that people are going to want to watch. But at the same time, we always say, has this film got a message? Has this film got anything to say to us about life? It might be a film about, struggling with illness or coping with depression. It might be a film about coping with death. It might be a science fiction film about, is there a God and is there eternal being and so on. So we look for really good films, we review them, and then we always put a little positive message in at the end to say, yeah, this film has got something to teach us about our lives and about faith, maybe about the Bible, maybe about Jesus Christ. But that's what I get to do. You get to write a column as well, which is equally important.
Yeah, I do, and I love writing this column because it's all about the stories that Jesus told, and he did tell some fantastic stories. Stories that help us live a better life, the stories that help us to think better, to relate better to one another. If we follow what he said, the world will be a much better place. He said, I've come that you may have life in its fullness. He wants us to live a better life and have that fullness that God really intended for us. So it's great. So I'd encourage you to read that as well. But we're both of us choosing a story each month. So we're picking the best of the stories. Andy, what's your choice?
My story, the one that I've chosen from this month's newspaper, is a very topical one about Dan Walker, who you can see is on the cover. Dan is in Strictly Come Dancing at the moment, famous for presenting Football Focus on the BBC. But he recently was in trouble because he said he wouldn't dance on a Sunday. He said his faith was more important to him than dancing, and than fame, than celebrity, than money. And we've interviewed him in the paper and he tells us why. And he says it's because he has built his life on a foundation of faith in God. He has a relationship, a real living relationship, he says, with God. And that's more important to him than anything. And I'm just really impressed that a man in that position, well-known celebrity, probably earning lots of money, but he can come out and he can say, look, my faith in God, my relationship with God is more important than my fame or my celebrity or my TV appearances. So he explains why that is in the paper. You can read all about it. And I just think that's a really great story of a man who said, here's my priority. My priority is God, and I'm going to put God first. And he's loving life, and he's not worried about the fact that he's not going to be dancing and seen on TV on a Sunday, because he'd rather put his relationship with God first. So really impressive story, really brave man in the world in which we live. And I just love that story and the fact that we got an interview with him in the paper. Now, Colin, tell me what your favourite story is this month.
Yeah, what with the Remembrance Day coming up very soon, very appropriately, there's a story in here about a soldier, an ex-soldier, who was in Bosnia during the troubles in the 90s, and he actually says in this article that he used to be someone who was quite antagonistic towards faith and Christianity, but the troubles there changed him. He says in this article that the incredible evil and brokenness he found there started some sort of spiritual revolution in him. It's interesting. I've got a friend that had a similar experience. That she had a lot of evil. She became aware of a lot of evil going on around her, things going wrong in her life, and people being nasty to her and stuff. And she thought, if there's this much evil in the world, there must be good. There must be a God. And it changed her, and she started to reach out. I said, no, I don't know where you are. Maybe you're thinking the same sort of thing in this world of really bad news. There must be some good. Well, there is. This is what our paper talks about. That there's goodness in the world, and God wants to come and help you to change and feel the goodness rather than all the badness that's going on, and to find faith.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the paper's all about, and we come out every month. Next month will be the Christmas edition, so hopefully we'll have some stories about the real meaning of Christmas. So it's exciting read. It's a great read every month, and please do get hold of a copy.
Yeah, so if you want to find out how to get a copy, please contact us. There's distributors of the good news all around the country. So we'll put you in touch with somebody and they'll drop one into you. It's free of charge. But thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you'll join us again next month.
Thank you, and thank you, Colin. Great to be chatting to you.